Somebody called me perfect once, and I tripped in my response. See, seeking perfection is like trying to draw a freehand circle. It is the process of trying to draw a smooth shape with a G2 pilot pen and the curve of your wrist as a compass, anchored only with the faith that maybe it's possible. So, first time somebody called me perfect, I thought it was the induction into stability. I thought it meant I'd reached a level of excellency where I could take on the name. I thought it would motivate me, push me to work harder, practice drawing more circles. And I didn't forget that I wasn't actually perfect, and I knew that people didn't think I was actually perfect, but it felt like they thought I was perfect enough. See, the idea of gaining someone's approval is addictive. People don't drop the word perfect every day, so every time I heard it, it felt like an invitation to someone. Somebody knew me and liked me well enough to use the word perfect. It felt like enough to think maybe I was qualified to be a person. Maybe I had reached the 360 degrees of elegance. But the problem with perfection is how distant it is. It's unreachable, untouchable, unattainable. I didn't realize that when I started trying to fill the name, I took its descriptors: unreachable, untouchable, unattainable. I tried to fit my life into a circle, filling it with the reasons people called me perfect. But the pressure builds. The pressure comes from knowing that you can never truly be perfect, so your flaws get accentuated like self-dubbed sins. How could you be such a failure of a person, and yet people still call you perfect? I thought being perfect would bring me closer to people. But there is only so far the radius of your arms can stretch before you've lost your center. It becomes an expectation that you have to keep cultivating, because the only way to keep the name is to become more perfect. There has to be a reason why we praise people who are well-rounded. And there comes a day when the pressure is too much. It is the day when the question, "Are you okay?" can break you, sending cracks running through the circumference of your being. So, when the circle folds, you realize that you are at the center of it, and that you are alone. This wasn't what I was looking for. I just wanted to be good at something, to have actually found a place, but instead I drew myself into galaxies of incomplete orbits in black ink, thinking that the lines would define me, offering the smoothest parts of myself just to let people in. See, seeking perfection meant being good enough, but it didn't mean living. The radius keeps people out. All they see is that there's only room for one at the center point, so I never got any closer to being perfect, to being good enough, to anybody. My God, it is lonely to be the same distance from everybody in your life. I couldn't be something worth being encircled by. So instead, let me be Mars. Let me be Mars, whose orbit has the tiniest eccentricity. He's been like that for 1.35 million years and still hasn't crashed yet. See, the Romans saw something in Mars. They called him the war god, and as far as I'm concerned, he's been fighting to create his own path for centuries. Let me sit down at the piano for 2 hours, crying, playing the most delicate song I know. Let my tears be the closest thing I ever get to perfect circles, and even then, let gravity pull their radii apart into droplets. Let me be led wherever the ink goes. It doesn't matter if I can see the path before me. I can only have faith that one day I'll return to the place where I started drawing. I won't ask for the shape to be a circle, but hopefully it will be something comparable to the imperfect majesty of Mars. Hopefully it will be something anchored with the faith that everything passes. Hopefully, it will be something more than perfectly good enough.